Hello, welcome back to 10 at 10. My name is Michael Ramage. I'm the director of the Cyber Education Research Center here at Murray State University, and welcome back to 10 at 10. 10 at 10 is brought to you through a partnership between Murray State University, Sprocket, West Kentucky, and KY Innovation. And welcome back to episode 264. This is a even number episode, so we are up looking at the news of the last few days and weeks and seeing what is there that we can read, that we can learn about in the news that can keep us a little bit safer in cyberspace. So let me just dig into it. I got a couple of interesting stories that I at least find interesting. And specifically, I find them interesting because they are relative to some of the things that we've been talking about. And so let me first talk about this article that comes from Security Week. The title of it is Why We Can't Let AI Take the Wheel of Cyber Defense. Now, obviously, this is a commentary and article, but I do find it interesting because the first couple of articles, actually, many of the articles today we're talking about AI related things. This first one is there's a belief out there, incorrect belief, in my opinion, that with AI, we can just roll it up, let it go, and we're safe. And the problem is, well, there's a number of problems with that. One is that we can't mistake the promise of AI, and this is what the columnist says. We can't mistake the promise of AI, mistake automation with assurance and novelty for resilience. And what that means is that there's gotta be a human element in there. There has to be something in there that is making sure that what we're implementing is implemented correctly. Have you ever had a false positive or false negative when you're doing something that maybe you didn't put your fingerprint in there just right and it didn't read it correctly or whatever it might be? Those are still gonna happen. Those are still going to exist. So having a human element to be there and help with that design is important. Another element, and there's a couple of other things they talk about in the article, but another one that I found captivating is about the resilience piece. If you're able to attack a system and knock down the AI system, how does it come back online? It's not gonna magically heal itself and restore itself. It's gonna take human intervention. So we can't just let it go, put our hands back, and look at it. We're gonna have to have some ongoing interaction. Frankly, we need to be transparent about what we're using AI for, but we also need to make sure that what we're doing is working and that we have that human element to just make sure that what we're doing is the right way to think about it, because that's certainly a challenge. Relating to that, I actually find this really interesting, is that SC Media put out this article looking at the cyber workforce gap. And this is really interesting because there are still 500,000 open cybersecurity jobs. We still have a gap. But here's what's interesting is that gap is in middle management, upper management, senior level positions. It's not in entry level. We have more entry level people than we have jobs right now. But here's why. Is that people are using AI, or at least that's the belief that's shared in the article, is that people are using AI. And that makes sense. Some of those entry level jobs are really easy to use AI to implement. But here's the problem, and we're facing this in higher ed for sure, is how do you get the experience for that middle level job if you can't get the entry level job? The running joke for years has been that they uh, they want you to be a new college grad with 8 years experience, which obviously is impossible. And that's always been the kind of the running joke, is that the years experience that are required for a new graduate don't make sense. Well, this is just going to make that problem even worse, That we're going to have situations where you have employers wanting to hire people with experience, but because those same employers are using AI to replace positions, it's not going to be possible. So what do we do about it? Experience, hands-on experience matters. And I will speak, selfishly, here at Murray State, we are actually creating environments where students can get that hands-on experience so that they can do some of those things that they may not get to do in that entry level job because there's going to be more expectations of them due to the nature of AI. So we want to make sure that they get those opportunities while they're still with us at Murray State. I think it's going to be cool. We're going to have, for example, in our remodel that you've heard me talk about, we're going to have a student focused security operations center. Student focused meaning that we're going to use students to run it. And I think there's a really cool opportunity there to help support um, organizations across the Commonwealth and beyond by using students to help monitor networks where they need the assistance. So anyway, think that's cool. Um, the next one, this next article, I almost view it as my regular, bi-weekly, monthly reminder that there's a lot of data that gets leaked. And this is one article. I could have shared 50 others. 149 million credentials exposed without any protection, 98 gig worth of usernames, passwords from financial service companies, social media accounts, dating apps. There's a lot of credentials that have been shared and been exposed. And I share this for two reasons. First of all, if you ever get notified, maybe it's through a password vault, password manager that you're using, or otherwise, if you ever get notified that your password has been um, part of a password breach, you should change your password. If you get an email, and be very hear me when I say this, I want you to listen very carefully. If you get an email saying your password has been compromised, what you do is you log into that system the normal way that you log in. If they send a link, don't click it. It's probably a scam. It's probably not really going to that company. It's going to a different company. Be very careful when you do that. Second reason I share this is that you can do all the right things. You can have a long, complex password, passphrase. You can do all the things you're supposed to do. But if the website that you're using doesn't do the right things, then all those great precautions that you took are for nothing. So we've got to be careful. And even if the company that you're using does all the right things, there's still a potential that those passwords get compromised, get stolen by a bad guy. Maybe it's because of software that they're using. Maybe it's because of somebody that they're trusting that maybe they shouldn't have trusted. Whatever the reason, it happens. And if you're part of that, go ahead and change your password. It should be another strong, unique password, not something that is being copied from something else. Strong, unique password. Go ahead and do it, and you'll be able to take care of it that way. All right, next story. There's a little bit of humor in this, but I'm sharing this because, I'll explain in a minute. So the acting interim director of the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, this is on Politico, asked for special permission to use ChatGPT. He's the interim director. They said sure. And what happened was that interim director uploaded sensitive information to ChatGPT. Now, in this case, it wasn't classified data. It was FOUO, for official use only. So, it didn't do a lot of damage. However, their internal controls identified that that account had uploaded sensitive information, which is against policy, and it triggered some internal reviews and a damage assessment at DHS. I share that because this is not atypical of organizations that we deal with, in the sense that leadership wants special permission to do things that the average person's not doing. Yes, if there's a new phone to be had, boss is going to get one first. I get all those things, all those are fair. But we also still have to be careful that what we're giving them can cause a compromise as well. So we just want to be careful that if we have these security policies, if we have these security controls, they have to apply to everybody equally, no matter your role in the organization. And this is an example of the CISA made a special exception for the interim director, and it came back to be a problem. Uh, Now, it might have been an accident. I don't know the circumstances of that user account, but either way, it ended up violating the policy that they had. Just got to be careful. All right. There's a lot more I could get into in the news this week, but let me stop there with those 4 stories. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. Let me know. And I will see you next week back here on 10 at 10. Thank you. Bye.